Welcome to the Chord Unit project. In this project, we're going to learn how to put everything that we've learned so far together. So bass, drums, chords, all that stuff that we learned throughout this unit is going into this project. So let's take a look at how to set up the project first. So you have all your tasks here. And what I want you to see is I want you to see this little table because this is going to be really important. And we're going to go to Soundtrap and create a new project. So enter Studio. And the first thing that you're going to want to do, so music, and then you can create a track, is you need to choose which song that you want to remix. So let's just say, for example, that I want to remix this song called Juice. Then I'll click on the link and then I'll download the file. And I already have it downloaded, so I'm just going to go to my download section and find it. And you're going to take that file and you're going to drag it into the project. Now, you should set the tempo up first, but let's just say that you don't. I'll just show you that, what happens in case you don't. So let's go back to the project. The tempo, or the BPM, beats per minute, is 58. So we need to set up our project to be 58. Now, if you do this first, then you're not going to have to do this next step. So it tells you, Soundtrap tells you that an audio adjustment might be necessary. And it wants to kind of speed or slow down this audio track. Don't do it. Don't say adjust. We want to say don't adjust. And you'll know that you did it right if your acapella is starting right at bar 5. So see where the waveforms start. Okay, now, whatever your acapella is, you need to color it purple and rename the track acapella. So it's 2 L's, 1 C, 1 P. And that's it. Your song is saved. You're going to rename your project, okay? And the name of the project should be Chord Unit Project. So Chord Unit Project, and then a hyphen, and then your name. So I'll just put my name right there, and there we go. All right, so whatever your project is, whatever song you choose to do, you're going to set it up like that. So for example, No Brainer would be at 102. Okay, and for all these acapellas, you bring them to the beginning of bar 1. So notice how we don't want the acapella like this. We want it all the way at the beginning of bar 1. Okay, if it's Rockstar, set it to 90. If it's Changes, set it to 65. If it's Peaches, set it to 90, etc. Now, the reason why it says setup difficulty hard for some of them is because the chords are a little bit trickier to set up, but I'm going to walk you through that. So I'm going to set up No Brainer. So I'm going to delete this. And No Brainer is 102, so I'll set that. And then here we go. Okay, so I need to recolor my track. I'll just delete this track by pressing Shift Delete. I'm going to rename it to Acapella, so it's purple, everything's good. Let's go back to the project. Now, these are all the things that you have to do, and we're going to go to the sections section next. And this table shows you which bars each section for the song occur. And so in order to do this, we're going to create a new track, set it to piano. Make sure that you color the track orange. Okay. And then you're going to create a region here. Now let's go back to our chart, and we see that for No Brainer, our intro is bar 1 to 4. So you need to drag this to the end of bar 4. So it's all of bar 1, all of bar 2, all of bar 3, all of bar 4. Go to edit, say name. So edit name, and then call this intro. That way, when you hover over it, you can see that this is the intro. Then we're going to go to bar 5, right click right here, create a region. This will be for our next section, and that's going to be the verse, bar 5 to 12. So to the end of bar 12, and then you do the same thing. Edit, edit name, and this is verse. And we'll do the same thing at 13. So move the playhead, create a region. Let's see how long it needs to be. 13 to 16, that's going to be the pre-chorus. And so you continue until you have this done for the entire song, and make sure that you're very, very accurate, because if you're not accurate with this, then when you're creating your sections, they might be off, and then you will have bigger problems. Okay, so let's just say that we finished all those. The next thing is you need to set up a track for your chord progressions. And this is what makes No Brainer and Rockstar a little bit more challenging. Not really, but we're going to create a new track, piano, and we're going to call it chords. And then I'll just click, and we want this orange as well. And we can move these both above the acapella. So it would be the acapella, then have your drums next, then your bass, then your chords. And here's where it gets a little tricky. So if we take a look at No Brainer, I'm just going to zoom in on this a little bit. We can see that the chords are not a certain amount of beats, like 1 beat or 4 beats or 2 beats. This one is actually 2.5 beats. Now it doesn't say that anywhere, but what I've done is I've drawn the region and I've shown you, okay, F major goes from beat 1 all the way to the and, okay? So it stops at the and of beat 3. So let's set that up. And so you might have to use this grid down here, turn on make sure you're on 16th notes, and then we're gonna go down to here. So it goes to 3, so let's figure out where 3 is. So this entire thing right here, this entire region is 1 bar right now, but we need it to be 2.5 beats. So you can see that these lines right here, these slightly darker lines, are our beats. So it's 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E to the end of 3. That's where we want it. So here's where 2 finishes, 2 E and A. That's 3 E right there. And that is how you're supposed to set up the beats for this particular chord. And that would be F major. So we're going to edit the name and say F. Okay, I told you this one was a little bit trickier. And G is going to fill up the rest of the bar. So it starts where F leaves off and goes until beat 1 of the next bar. Okay, so I'm going to go to bar 2. I'm going to create a region. I'm just going to slide it over. And then I know that this region has to finish when bar 2 starts. So there we go. And this will be G major. So this one's 2.5, this one's 1.5. Together, they make 4 beats or 1 entire bar. So we have 2 beats per bar, we have 4 beats per bar, 2 chords per bar. And it's the same pattern for this one. So actually what you can just do is you can simply just take these, copy them at 2, because this one is going to be 2.5, this one's going to be 1.5, and rename this one to A minor, so AM. And our last chord is C major, and then it repeats. So edit name, C, good. And then this whole pattern will repeat. And now we have our nice 4-bar pattern. And this is the pattern that's going to occur throughout the entire song. So once you're done, you just copy and paste and boom, there you go. Those are your chords. And every single song works the same way. We're using the same chords for the entire song. There's no changes. Okay, just make sure that you follow the pattern that's given. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you how to do one more of these. I'll do Juice. So let me get rid of this. And remember, I didn't finish the regions or naming them. So let's go to Juice and we'll delete this. We'll drag Juice back in right there to our acapella track. And if you remember, Juice, I believe, is, let's see the tempo. Juice is 58. So let's go back. Let's make our tempo 58 or our BPM. Don't adjust. And here's our intro. Here's our verse. Let's see if that's long enough. So go down to sections. The verse goes from 5 to 12. So, yep, that's good. And then the next section, I'll just ignore that for now. Okay, so let's create our chords for this one. So if you go down to find Juice, we see we have half a bar. So 1 to 1 is 1 full bar. So our first chord is actually 2 beats long, which is half a bar. It's F major. So let's go back. So we know that from 1 to 2, that's 1 bar. So half a bar is going to be right there where I place that note. So I'm just going to shorten this up. Boom, there's half a bar. And then I'll copy and paste this right there. Now I have my 2 chords. I think the first one is F major. Let's just check. And then D minor. So every time I'm setting up projects for you guys, this is what I'm doing. And I believe it's E minor, and following is A minor. So let's just check. Yep, E minor, A minor. And then we would simply, so each one is 2 bars long. We would simply copy and paste this. For the entire project, it's the same chords over and over and over and over and over, all the way down to the end. Okay. Get rid of these, get rid of these. All right, so that's how long the song would actually be. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. So just to recap, we chose one of the acapellas, we downloaded it, we dragged it into Soundtrap, we set the tempo, don't adjust. If you set the tempo after you drag it in, say don't adjust. Set up your sections, okay? And we did that by creating a new track, making sure there was piano, renaming it. So chords, this one's actually wrong. It should be sections and chords. And then once you're done putting all your sections in, put your chord progressions in. Okay, and you're just gonna rename all of these regions, and then you can just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, so that's pretty much how we set this up. Hope that helps.